Welcome to episode 16 of the Tailgate Sports Podcast. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about NFL Week 13, talk a little bit about the NBA, and then give our NFL Week 14 picks. Starting off, get right into some of the games on Thanksgiving. Eberflus choked in the game with the Bears against the Lions. Towards the end of the game, I know you could say a little bit of Caleb could take the blame too, but this is your head coach, a guy who's already been under fire for most of the year. And then for something like that to happen and then him come out and say, yeah, I wouldn't change anything. We had a plan. Clearly, you didn't have a plan. Things fell apart, and you ended up losing the game because of it. They were in field goal range, and something happens. No one knows what's going on with the time. They could have kicked the field goal to win it, and instead they run out the clock, run a final play, try to get a touchdown, and inevitably the clock runs out. They don't get the touchdown. Game is over. I don't know how that sort of thing happens. With Eberflus being fired, what is next for this team? I know this is a great team to come into if you are a head coach. There are going to be lots of candidates. I know there are going to be a lot of teams looking for coaches in the offseason, so I am curious to see who goes here. I know Vrabel's out there. I know, he's a winner. He has a bit of a resume as a head coach, but to me, his offense looked inconsistent his last year in Tennessee, and I just don't know if that's the kind of guy you're looking for with this young squad. I think they should kind of pick up a young, offensive-minded coach. I know Ben Johnson's out there, and I know it's speculated he's going to pick up a head coaching job, and I'm not really sure if he would go over to a division rival because he has shown loyalty to the Lions in the past. I don't think he will do that. I know Joe Brady is another name being tossed around for a head coaching position. I hope not because I want the Bills to keep him, but he is a great offensive mind. I think he will be, picking up some calls there for a head coaching position. The Raiders also choke against the Chiefs. They're in field goal range to kick it to win the game, and something happens. The ball is snapped while Aiden O'Connell's not even looking, and it's turned over. The game ends. And the Chiefs just keep catching breaks. I seen something. If every one-score game this season was reversed, I seen that the Chiefs would only have 2 wins, and they would be at the bottom of the whole entire AFC. So that is definitely something to keep an eye on. I know their schedule is about to get harder, and they've had an easy schedule, so we're really about to see what this team is about. I know what this team could do in the postseason. I know everybody wants to keep talking about the struggles they've had in the season so far, but we all know when it comes to the postseason, you're going to be betting on the Chiefs. This team is lethal. I don't care what we've seen. This is still a scary team. I don't want the Bills to see them. I know a lot of other teams don't want to see them, but they definitely have not looked themselves so far this regular season. The Steelers get a win over the Bengals 44-38. They are looking like some real contenders. Very well-rounded team. Defense is phenomenal. The offense has really looked well since Russell Wilson has came in, and it looks rejuvenated. It looks like a team that could play winning football, go to toe-to-toe with these other good offenses, other teams. On the other hand, the Bengals have some serious issues. The Ravens and the Bengals are in similar positions. Both have elite level offenses that could put up points any given second, could go down the field and score, but their defenses can't stop even the weakest teams in the NFL right now. And we all know winning football, when it comes down to it, in the postseason, you need a good defense. Yes, okay, you could hang out and score and go toe to toe, but it really comes down to that stop. And this team can't stop my grandma, for Pete's sake. We're seeing terrible teams put up large numbers on these teams where the quarterbacks are phenomenal. The offenses are putting up great numbers. In order for these to be real contenders, in order for the Bengals and the Ravens to make that leap, they need to have a better defense. So next season, I want to see them, go into this offseason, make some moves, pick up some guys. The Ravens need a good secondary. The Bengals need everything. They have the worst defense in the last decade. They need to make some moves because they have franchise guys. Teams are teams would love to have guys like the Bengals and the Ravens, and they're just not doing enough on the defensive end to have this team winning and give these quarterbacks what they deserve. The Bills are looking like they are the best team in the AFC. Oh, sorry. The Bills are looking like they are the best team in the AFC. I know that the Chiefs have the better record, but like I was just saying, this team has a lot of one-score games, has a lot of games where they look shaky. The Bills look so complete. The offense is a top-ranked offense. The defense is a top-ranked defense. This is a team that is built for the playoffs, built for games that are going to get dirty. They're top 5 in points right now. They're top 3 in touchdowns. Top 10 defense and a top 10 offense. Looking super consistent. Josh Allen, he is taking a step. Statistically, he is not looking like he is, out of this world, but he's doing what he needs to do to win games, and in the moments where the rest of the team is struggling, he has that moment where it's like, okay, this is a guy who could go to a Super Bowl. This is a guy who could win a Super Bowl. He has those moments, and they're winning while they're beating good teams and they're beating bad teams. And this is a team that, whatever the win it is, they look good. Last season, they'd have those games where they'd play down to their opponent, and yeah, they would get their wins, but they didn't look good doing it. The Bills look good doing it in every sort of fashion. They could run the ball. They could pass the ball. The defense is out of this world. The coaching has been phenomenal. There's nothing really to complain about the Buffalo Bills right now, and Josh Allen is an MVP candidate. The Buffalo Bills, people were saying before the season that they were going to take a step back. You go and see the Buffalo Bills on their page. They made a post of all these people taking the Jets or the Dolphins over them for the division, and they just show this is our division. Countless times, again and again and again, they show that no one else in this division can hang. We are the only real contenders in the AFC East right now, and I think that's going to be a thing for a while now. The Jets look like they're going to need to do some retooling, rebuilding. The Dolphins have their struggles. I know they're probably going to be our biggest, threat in the future, or even with Drake May now, maybe the Patriots. But the Bills, this is our division. We're going to jump in and talk a little bit about some NBA. The Lakers need to make some changes right now, and they're not playing horrible basketball, but there are some inconsistencies. The defense we've known to be really well in the past, but they've shown some inconsistencies there. The guys just can't keep up. We know the main guys are going to put up their numbers. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, he's even had a little bit of a slump, but these guys are going to continue to be good, but the inconsistencies there, they need to be consistently stopping teams And while their offense is not good right now, they are super inconsistent, not shooting enough threes, not making enough threes. LeBron's been in a shooting slump. The defense needs to get better. While they need to add some shooters, they need some three-point depth. The NBA nowadays, people are shooting the three, and if you can't keep up with them, they are going to continue to have that lead grow more and more and more. You need to put some shooters out there. I know they have some injuries, so that has made them not look as good. But when these guys start coming back, Austin Reeves and stuff, we need to start seeing some more three balls, and the defense needs to get more consistent. The Milwaukee Bucks look like they are turning things around finally. They're 10-2 or 8-2 in their last 10 games. Giannis and Dame are looking like they are building a connection finally. Damian Lillard looking like himself in the month of November. He's averaging, I think, 27 points, 8 assists, like 1.2 steals. His game is looking good again. He's really putting in hustle. The defense has gotten a lot better. This is something that the Bucks have really struggled with, is defense. We know what this team could do on offense if they are having a good night, but the defense has really lacked, and they can't really keep up. Chris Middleton, once he comes back and all three of them get into like a groove, find a connection, this is a team that I think is going to continue to turn things around, and we're going to be talking about them in the postseason. I know people have written them off. People have talked about Doc in a negative way, and I know he hasn't been the best, but he has shown winning moments. He has shown that he can be a great coach. We will see what the postseason holds, but I am not giving up on the Bucks right now. They look great, and I really do believe that the connection will continue to grow, and the Bucks will continue winning games, and we will be talking about them in the postseason. I was watching a podcast the other day, one of the podcasts that kind of, inspired this whole thing. Pick a Side podcast. If you haven't checked them out already, definitely go check them out. They talk about the NBA and the NFL, and they are very knowledgeable. Definitely go check them out. But the Pick a Side podcast, guys, we're asking a question. Why are the Rockets so good right now? And, they had a defense or a decent offense in the past, but the defense was really, really bad. Ime came in. I talked a little bit about this on the last episode. Ime came in, and the defense just changed exponentially, and it continues. We have these vets who came in with Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks, also defensive guys. And with all three of them, this team has really gotten better. The young guys are starting to lean more onto the defensive end. The offense is now starting to look a little better. They've had their moments where, okay, this looks like a top offense, but then they've had their moments where they look really, really bad. But this year, they're starting to look a little more consistent. Not the best, not the worst. They're kind of in the middle of the pack. They're around 15th ranked, but they're consistent now, while their defense has been borderline elite. They have some real guys there now, and I think, Jalen Green has been inconsistent and probably the one key piece that is maybe holding them back a little bit, but the Rockets really have hope now, and if they need to get rid of Jalen Green after the season, they have the space to pick up a real star for that position. But they are at the top of the West right now. They're number 2, and this is a competitive West, so this really does give me hope. I do believe that the defense will stay consistent, and we need the offense to be right there with it. This is a young team. They have the cap space for the offseason if they need to make moves. I could see the Rockets really being a top team for a few years now. I think there are a lot of reasons why this team has elevated. Like I said, coaching. The players are getting better at the things that they needed to, the things that they were lacking last season. And this is a young squad, but these guys have heart. These guys have drive, and they are continuing to get better. We're going to jump right into our last segment. NFL Week 14 picks. Starting off with the Packers and the Lions division matchup, I really think that the Packers are going to pick this one up. Browns and Steelers, I'm going to go with the Steelers here. Saints and Giants. Give me the Saints. Jets and Dolphins. I just cannot bring myself to pick the Jets. Give me the Dolphins. Jags and Titans. Trevor Lawrence is probably out. I'm going to go with the Titans here. Falcons and Vikings. I'm going to go with the Vikings. Panthers and Eagles. The Eagles have looked really, really good. They're on a stretch. I'm going with the Eagles here. Raiders and Buccaneers. Give me the Buccaneers. Seahawks and Cardinals. This is going to be a close one. I think I'm going to lead more towards the Seahawks here. Bears and 49ers. The 49ers season pretty much just got ended, but I still think they could pick this one up. Bills and Rams. Give me the Bills here. Chargers and Chiefs. I honestly think the Chargers are going to pick this one up. Bengals and Cowboys. Give me the Bengals here. That's it for episode 16 of the Tailgate Sports Podcast. Tune in next week for episode 17.